if I was a runner new to lifting, where would I start? Now, I have to admit, I kind of have the benefit of hindsight here, so I came from a lifting background and I'm a personal trainer. But even so, I want to be honest and useful if you're stepping into the gym for the first time as a runner. And that's because runners usually pick up strength work when it's too late and they've got injured. Which means I don't have to convince you why strength work is important. You've already learned the hard way. But where to start? Ask a run coach, and they'll probably not know where to get past do strength. Ask a strength coach, on the other hand, and they'll probably give you some complicated ass workout which confuses the hell out of you. And it's this vagueness and confusion which keeps runners out of the gym, making it the unattractive choice for runners. But in reality, it's just as important part of running as stuff like nutrition and sleepers. Now instead, I'll take you through some essential strength moves to take away that vagueness and confusion. And I'm not saying this is going to be the secret, bulletproof, ultimate mega killer, I don't know what. I mean, it'll probably make the thumbnail and clickbait views a bit more useful. Aside from that, the truth is any strength work is better than no strength work. And I get so many runners ask me whether this exercise is good or not, this plan is like going to get them hench or stop getting injuries. And the first question I ask them back is, were you doing strength before? And if they say no, then I'm like, cool, just carry on doing what you're doing. Take sub-elite runner Ben is running Felton. His sort of approach to strength training is a sort of circuit-based, do whatever happens on the day kind of approach. Do I think that his approach to strength training could be more optimal? Yeah. Is he still fast as f***? Yes. As long as you do something, you're increasing your capacity to reduce your injury risk and capacity to PB more. Oh yeah, one last thing before we dive into my foundational strength template. You don't have to go straight into the gym. Now, I get that a lot of commercial gyms are full of egotistical pricks. And yeah, I've got the luxury of not being at a commercial gym. But the good news is with these essential strength moves, you can practice them and master them at home first before heading to the gym. By that time, you'll be an absolute pro and it'll be no sweat. Right, in my view, there are only 5 exercises that a runner should be mastering. I'll be honest, it was 4, and I was kind of coining it the core 4, but the 5th one was a bit too important, and I was like, I'll have to like settle the alliteration down. So I guess we're at the Fab 5, no, Fast 5, Famous 5, 5 Alive. Forget the alliteration, on with the first 5. Jeez, these Peloton bikes are heavy.
6 insider box. I don't want to say it, but it's funny.
Okay, first one, squat. So we're going to just drop it like it's hot. I can't take myself seriously saying that line in a very white boy English accent. But anyway, this is something I really love. It's one of the best exercises out there for a runner. That's why it's first in the list. It's great for the stride power in your glutes. I don't know why I'm filming that. Good resilience in the knees, ankles, good core stability, and good power through your quads. So resilience, power, that's basically everything it does. So all we're going to do here is we're going to start hip width apart with the feet, and we are literally just going to drop down into we're doing a squat obviously. We're just going to break up the hips and the knees at the same time, like so. Nice and easy. Come down and back up. Now the key here is I want to see hip is going to be parallel with the knees and come back up. That way we're going to get our glutes nice and involved in the party. So for all of these, except the 5th one, I would recommend doing about 3 sets of 10 reps. Next one is a hinge. No, not that one, but it is going to generate some inappropriate thrusting. So that inappropriate thrusting is going to be generating what is basically the power when you stride. So when we stride forward, we're literally using our hip hinge to generate that power to get as far forward as possible. The key here is we're going to be getting our hips as far backwards as possible, and we're just going to be shifting them backwards and forwards. So that's all you need to think of. So we're going to be, I'm holding this microphone, but I'll do this with two hands for you. Hips are going to go backwards, break of the hips, let everything do the work through your hammies, and hips forward to come back up. So down nice and slowly and thrust forward. So all we're doing here is hips forward, hips backwards on repeat. I'll just get the main camera to give you a bit of an angle there. And as you can see, my lower leg booted right where they are, and my back is nice and straight. So hips are doing all of the work here. So if you feel any pain in your lower back, just remember hips back, hips forward. That will do you right. Third one is a lunge. Now this is the type of move you wouldn't do in 2-inch running shorts. Now basically this helps us iron out any imbalances from left to right. Now if you have any imbalances when you run, you're like more dominant on the left and the right side, doing a single leg exercise like a lunge is a great way of trying to sort that out. And if you don't sort it out, the sort of thing will happen is you become so dominant on one side, an injury is almost inevitable through the other side, not being strong enough to take the force. Now I prefer doing them backwards for hip flexor strength, so this bit here for the stride, but equally you can do them forwards for core stability and sort of like knee landingness, resilience. But we're going to focus on reverse lunges. So basically we're going to start by standing tall and we're going to come down. Knee is going to touch the ground almost. Don't stop here, but I'm just doing the dramatic effect. And basically your legs are like they're kind of at right angles. And then we're just taking turns going left and right. So driving through that front leg to give us a nice boost up. And this is basically giving us our kind of like pseudo running sort of like stride power through that hip flexor. Next one is core, so planking, twisting, or bending, crunching, whatever it is, it helps strengthen that kind of like soft, squishy bit between your top and bottom. And why is this important? So basically, late in the race, it makes sure that your form stays on top and you don't get that late race slouch where your form just oscillates all over the place. But basically for this movement, we're going to go with one of my favorites for core stability, the plank shoulder taps. So basically we're going to start in a press up position. If you need to go into knees, then nay bother. But basically you want to keep that core as still as possible. So imagine there's like somebody's put a glass of water on top, and every time you tap your shoulder, you don't want your core to be moving all over the place. Just think about a core moving 0 millimeters. So a lot of people, when they see this, they'll just be moving their core all over the place, making the move easy. But if you just imagine there's like a glass of water on your back, just imagine no movement, and you get a nice stretch and tightness across all of your core basically. And that's basically going to amount to your core strength being symmetrical across all of your core, so front and the obliques. Okay, and finally, the sheer anticipation of getting to the fifth one that I thought was worthy enough to oust my very good alliteration, and it is of course calf raises. So why do I think these are really important? These are essentially your shock absorbers, your springs that work like workhorses throughout long and slow distances. I don't know what that means, but basically they're very important and they stop you getting shin splints. So we're going to find a step, any step here, and we're going to stand on that step on the balls of our feet. And I actually quite like to call these heel drops instead of calf raises, because that's where the real value is. It's the bit where we go below instead of this bit, but that bit is equally important. So we're basically going to slowly lower down as far as we can, as far as we can, and we're just going to explode up as far as we can. Slowly lower down and explode. Now, I actually like doing these single leg, so let's just tear a leg away, not literally obviously. And again, like the lunges, this just goes to stop those imbalances from appearing. So left calf won't be more springy than the right calf will be just as springy if we do this over and over again. So unlike the others, I would do these small reps. I'd probably edge on like 15 to 20, so these work a lot slower and kind of need a lot more work to get them built. So those are the Fab 5 essential strength moves, and you'll notice I wasn't actually using weights in all but one of them actually, but does it help? Yeah, it helps improve your injury tolerance a bit more if you increase the load. So you improve the load, you put the stress through your body a bit more, you improve the tolerance to force, aka injury. But yeah, how do you add more weight to your moves? Let's find out. Returning to the humble squat, I would start by progressing using a kettlebell or a dumbbell and holding it like a goblet. So we basically hold it up here nice and tight into your chest. Again, same kind of squatting movement, straight from this angle, and this just makes it a bit harder. And I'd keep increasing the number on this kettlebell until basically your arms become the kind of limiting factor. And when your arms reach that sort of limiting factor, I basically go and jump onto a barbell. So it might look scary, but just start with a bar. A bar weighs 20 kilos. I would demo it here, but my gym doesn't have a barbell, so I'm talking over footage of me historically doing some barbell squats. So it's the same theme across all the other 4 movements. You just apply that same sort of progression of just increasing the weight until you sort of hit a barbell level, with the exception of core and calves. It's all very well like increasing the load, but surely that's going to hurt your legs. And you'll be asking, but what about fitting it in with my runs? It's a valid question because I get that running is priority number 1, and it always will be. So, you know, turning up to your speedy sessions on jelly legs probably is not a bad idea. It's a bad trade. But let me make you a deal. So just think about turning up to your like speed and tempo sessions on fresh legs, but you're sort of happy to do your strength work and turn up to your easy runs on jelly legs. So that way you kind of get the performance benefits of training on fresh legs in a sort of tempo speedy session. So another way of looking at it, if that annoys you, is to look at the kind of pro runner off-season model. So that basically says if you're 8 to 12 weeks out from a race, less than, then strength work can take a back seat. But if you're outside of that, then strength go ham. So just think of it seasonal, and you'll be fine. So as a treat for making it to the end of the video, I've included a sample training split based on the 5 essential strength moves. So you can take it away into your own weights, track your workouts. It's yours to do with it what you want and stay accountable to yourself basically as you start on your strength journey.